What's going on today, guys? Welcome to the channel. I am Dalton. This is Armson Farms. Welcome to the Footlong Farmer YouTube channel. We're going to dive right into it today, guys. So we are out on the new barn site. As you can see, we've got a water situation. So what happened is, being that we peeled off that much topsoil, they hit a tile. So we're going to repair that right quick for them. We brought down our excavator and I'll show you what we got going on. So we got the tile up here where it's coming in, and then down here, if I can do it without eating it, we have an old clay tile where it's hooked into. So I don't know if the clay was busted here at one point, so they just ran a piece of plastic and hooked into it. Most likely. A lot of our tiles, our old clay tiles, have broken along the headlands first, because that's where the most traffic, truck traffic, spreader traffic, stuff like that occurs. So it's quite possible that this old clay tile just broke in the headland at some point and they just spliced in a new piece. So what we're gonna do is, here comes Tyler with a couple shovels. We're gonna clean this up, try to cut that flush, hook in a new piece, and just hook this back together. Should be a simple fix. Probably won't be because I just said that, but we're gonna give it a shot. So for those of you who don't know what clay tile is, that's what you're looking at. About a 4-inch round circle that's literally clay. They come in these about foot-long pieces. And what they used to do, they used to just get it nice and level, nice and smooth, and they would just set these up against each other. The clay would expand when it got wet and kind of seal itself to each other. And that's how it worked. But these are not meant for semis, for articulate tractors, things like that. These are meant for farm LHs and 1066s. So slowly we're getting these worked out as they break. So there you go. So let's check her out. 4 inches short. Problem you have often there, Tyler?
Huh?
Is that a problem you have often?
Potentially.
Okay, well, we gotta go find another piece of tile and another connector. Gosh darn it. All right, that's what we gotta do. Over at the shop to get a piece of tile, and noticed Uncle Rob left his lawnmower in the shop, so pranks on the way. Drew a giant wang in electric tape. Oldest trick in the book, am I right?
Oldest trick.
Oldest trick in the book. All right, well, we got this end hooked on and covered up. Tyler's just cutting a piece to get that end done. Obviously, this is not the most professional job ever done, but it's gonna fix the problem. I'm sure there's 50 other tiles on this little area here. Most of our fields, if you're fixing one tile, you end up hitting 10 others. Just over the years, you know, they tile to a wet spot and patch it in, but this is what we're gonna do. He's got his little extension on there. He's playing patty cake with it. There we go. Now we'll set that down in so it's level, and we will get her filled up. Job complete. All right, well, she is backfilled and hopefully solves the problem. We are gonna get this excavator taken back over where we gotta go with it. We will pick up the pieces we cut off here and get them thrown out, and hopefully that solves the problem. We're not professionals by any means, but we can repair a broken tile generally. Out in the field, often I will get a bucket of stone to help put around it and level it off. But like I said, right there, it was so shallow as it is, and I'm sure they're gonna do other things with that to ensure that that this whole site will drain properly. But for now, it should keep the top from getting wet. After we hooked it up, before I backfilled, we made sure that it was draining, and it was in fact flowing that way, which is good. There's a creek down below those guys, so I'm assuming it just runs down to there. They're down there picking away. All right, so the next order of business, we have to take our 8850 and put it on our off-road wagon. Our off-road wagon is just an old off-road truck that's sawed off and turned into a wagon that you hook on the back of a tractor. Because we are digging sand, the long arm excavator has arrived and he is waiting on the spreaders. So the off-road wagon, I'm not sure if we're gonna make a pile to spread later or if we're just gonna dump it into the field and smear it out with a bulldozer. So that's what we're gonna get after now, I guess. All right, well, the 8850 is stacked away in here. So we moved the 48, and I'm gonna move the 4040, and then we are gonna get that old girl pulled out. So that's one of my personal favorite tractors on the farm. It's one of the oldest, but that baby is a cherry. She's got an 855 Cummins. It's got the Kinsey repower deal on it. That's just a good running, lugging old tractor. We don't have a lot of work for it these days. We were disking with it pretty much all the time, but nowadays, it'll pull the smooth roller every now and then, and it pulls this off-road wagon. That's about all the action she gets, but it's one of them, you just can't sell it, you know? What they're gonna give you for it will definitely not be worth not having a cool old tractor around. All right, we are up here on what I call death row, where things come to die, stuff we don't use anymore. I do believe the tailgate for that off-road trailer is back here somewhere. I just don't remember where. Got a blade for an 8640 here if anyone is interested. Kind of stumped here at the moment. I thought this is where I left it. Well, have to keep looking here. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of stumped. I don't see it. Now, this is not a junkyard. For those of you who think this is a junkyard, we come up here at least once a week for something. It's stuff that has value. It's just not everyday value. And I know that tailgate is up here, and I just can't find it. So, maybe I will walk down the backside over here, because the weeds are kind of growing up out in the front. So maybe I'll be able to spot it from the back. This tailgate has not been on this wagon in probably 10 years. Back in the day, we used to load all of the sand laden onto the off-road wagon and onto an off-road truck that we would rent in. We would dump it all out in the field and just take the blade tractor or the bulldozer and just spread it out like that. But since then, we've gotten the manure spreaders, and that does a much nicer job But at the same time, you're renting that long arm excavator every day. So if he's waiting 5-10 minutes between loads, we're losing money on that. So even if he digs it out and we put it in a pile and spread it later, that is still financially smarter than just renting an excavator and having it hang out. Where in the heck? Hey, I was practically on top of it. I literally showed you guys that blade off of the 8640 and it was on the other side of it. We were looking right at it. How about that? All right. Pin's not set up. Hey, we're in business. All right. All right, well, I got a phone call before I get that set up. They wanted me to pump out a little bit of liquid here because as you can see, he's working his way around with that long arm. And once he gets too close here, he didn't want this liquid to break through and really spoil his afternoon. So I am gonna pump out the few loads of manure that we've got here. You can see that is quite an excavator. He just backs around on the berm there. It's a little sketchy, but it's kind of how we've done it. I don't know how long that arm is. It's a 70? I don't know, it's a big machine. It doesn't, however, reach all the way to the center. We'll end up having to get down in there and kind of scoot it over to him. But it does get the majority out. Not totally sure what's going on. It is a little hard to tell because that's so long. It's hard sometimes to tell exactly where the guy in the excavator wants you in the spreader. Especially on that bank, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. And it looks like he probably just wants him to turn it sideways here a little bit. Yeah, it's a little sketchy, for sure. You can see that's quite an arm. It's got a little tiny bucket on it, but that's because there's so much weight so far out. They used to send that around with a bigger bucket on it, and I received a picture from a neighbor one time. It sheared off in the center and the whole outside arm was just hanging out in the lagoon. So now they send it with that bucket, about the size of a skid steer bucket. But yeah, we're picking away at her anyways. Get down to the bottom and it really pumps slow. This stuff is thick. All right guys, liquid is out. I took Caleb's spot in the spreader. He had to go help feed calves, so we're gonna do a little bit of this here today. Some of the milkers got the day off. They are headed to a big soccer tournament, so we are feeding calves, and we're gonna be doing the night shift milking tonight. That's always fun. I'll probably put that in a separate video for tomorrow, but that shifts from 6 to 1:30 in the morning, so it's gonna end up being at least a 20-hour workday today. So kind of glad to be finishing it out in the tractor. Go home and get some supper, and we will be back tonight to milk. On that note, I probably will end the video here today, just because, like I said, this is what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check it out tomorrow. It probably won't be the longest of a video, but I can show you guys our parlor setup tonight and kind of how we handle milking cows. So hit the subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.